Hi, Layla. Hi, Vivian. Today I'm going to talk to you about the scoring guide a little bit more and show you what the differences are between the fours and the fives. And I'm going to focus today on the kind of the results section, but mostly the discussion section after that to help y'all wrap this essay up. So first, let's take a look at the scoring guide. This is the one that we were referring to before, where we've got this clear line of distinction between the twos and the threes, where the twos basically report back, remember, only knowledge that already exists, whereas the threes have a new understanding. Another major difference between the twos and the threes is that the twos often don't have any kind of research method that you could replicate, whereas the threes, they do. There's something that you can replicate. It might not be very good. It might just be a simple survey or something like that that's not very well put together, but it is something that you could replicate. So if you'll notice over here on the right side, I added these little headings to the different sections. So this first section here, the first bullet, basically is the focus of the piece. The second bullet down, that's all covered in your literature review. This is the literature review in the gap. This bullet right here, this is all method. Once you get down into these two bullets here, all the way across, this is going to be, well, at least, I'm sorry, I kind of goofed this up a little bit. It's more like right here. This is going to be the results, the analysis, and the discussion. And then down here is the writing and the writing, design, and attribution. So I'll add that. Writing, citation, and like the textual design, stuff like that. Okay, so if you notice here, the fours and the fives are the same on these bullets here. So there's no difference between this bullet and this bullet. Okay. There's no difference between this bullet and this bullet. So the literature review and the gap, the fours and the fives are the same. That's also the case for the method. These two bullets are the same. So what makes the difference between the fours and the fives? It seems to be all in the results, and then what comes after the results. That's the big distinction there. And also, as I mentioned last time, the fours and the fives do a better design with they do better with design elements, conventions of grammar, style mechanics, and things like that. This part is better in a 5 than it is in a 4. But let's look at this here. So a 4 is one that supports a new understanding or conclusion through a logically organized line of reasoning, okay, and sufficient evidence. The limitations and or implications, if present, of the new understanding or conclusion are oversimplified. Here, let me emphasize that. Okay, so we've got implications and limitations there perhaps, but if they are there, they're oversimplified. Now this one says it justifies a new understanding. This one says it supports a new understanding. This one justifies a new understanding through logical progression of inquiry choices, sufficient evidence, explanation of the limitations and conclusion, and an explanation of the implications to the community of practice. All right, so that's a big step up from this to this here. So here, you've got all of these things here are working together to present us with a clear understanding of the new understanding, its implications, the limitations of it, and where it could go. What are the implications for the existing field of practice, the knowledge base that's already out there? So what does adding this to this body of knowledge actually mean? That's quite a bit more sophisticated here. And so in just a second, we're going to go and take a look at what that looks like in the 5 and the 4. Okay, here's some nice graphics here. This just sort of simplifies the rubric here. There's the big leap between the 2 and the 3. The replicable method, the new understanding. If you want to take a picture of that graphic or something like that, or if you would like a copy of it, just contact me, let me know. And here's the same graphic, but with the 4 and the 5 added. And so this, remember the difference between the, I didn't actually articulate the difference between the 3 and the 4. The 3 and the 4, the 4 is going to have a defended method and well-supported new understanding addressing a narrow gap. Remember, the gap here is not necessarily very narrow, and the defense of the method is not necessarily very good in the 3s. It might not be well defended or explicated at all, whereas in the 4, you're actually going to explain and defend the inquiry process, its findings, the alignment, and the new understanding. When we get to the 5, then, what we're going to have is a critical analysis and clear communication. That's the verbal piece and the design piece I talked about. The critical analysis is here. It's clearly and critically evaluates the inquiry process and its findings and implications. All right.